What up? This is Rama Screen, and in the anticipation of The Killing of Two Lovers, which arrives in theaters and on demand May 14th, I'm here talking with the director of this new film, Robert Machoian. How are you, Robert?
Great. Good to talk to you, Ron.
Good. Thank you for taking the time. Congrats on this wonderful film. I got to be honest with you, Robert. Prior to screening the movie, I read the synopsis and I thought, a story about strained marriage and separations. It seems like it's just a small segment of a story. But then I watch your movie, you really explored it deeply, the anguish and the frustration that Clayne's character feels. So, talk to me about the reason behind focusing on that and your process in fleshing it out to make it complete and substantive.
Yeah, I mean, I've been married for 20 years, and it's a interesting kind of milestone to kind of hit. My kids are, I have a daughter in college now, and so I was really kind of pondering those aspects of my relationship, and a lot of Rebecca and I's friends were kind of starting to separate. Families were just starting to kind of break down, and many of my male friends were doing things that were mind-boggling to me, things that were so kind of outside of their character that I was kind of like, what's up, dude? Like, what are you doing? you know like, I'm here to support you, but I can't support what you're doing. And that really was interesting to me. It made me think a lot about the fact that a relationship, a partnership, you make yourself more vulnerable than you do really to anyone else, even with family members who you're really close with. I don't know that you're ever as vulnerable as that. And as a result of that, you're not really aware of how you're going to respond to it. I don't think any of us are. I mean, I think in our minds, we think we would be very civil, but we don't know that. You might be fighting over who gets the spatula, and so I really wanted to explore the complicated aspect of that. The elements there are positive aspects of masculinity where you have this naive notion that you could do anything. It's just like, hey, I can build this, even though you probably can't build that. And then you build something kind of like that. And then there are these negative aspects where there's this kind of anger that is uncontrollable, and I wanted to explore that as well. Where is masculinity good, where is it very dangerous, and they exist in both places. There are positive and negative, and then the complicated aspects of marriage. So I really wanted to tie that all together, but flush it out in a way that it wasn't one noted, that it was complicated. Like, how can I continually complicate this aspect? And also get across, though, that losing the everyday relationship with your children as a father is very scary. And there are two kind of, I have friends, for example, that as they separated, the approaches were very different, because the wife had the expectation that she was going to get the kids, and the husband was paranoid and afraid that he was going to be relegated to weekends. And we have that kind of established in our storytelling and in society, that it works that way. And so I also wanted to get at that, that what David is at risk at is losing, reading bedtime stories, or even sometimes, for me, I'm in my office working on films, but in the background, I'm listening to my children on the trampoline laughing and giggling. So
So,
anyways.
yeah, thank you for sharing that. So, what was it about Clayne Crawford that was perfect fit for the role of David, and was Clayne your first and only choice for David?
Yeah, I mean, he and I have been trying to make films together for quite a few years. So when I started to write it, I started writing it with that in mind, that we were going to work together. There were a couple films that had not gotten off the ground, and he had called me and was like, "Look, I have some money and you have some resources, and can we make something?" And I said, "Yeah, we definitely can." But the other aspect, over those years, we had, I had babies born. He had babies born. We had been, I knew how much he loved being a father, and I knew how much I love being a father, per conversations that we had had over the years, And so I knew, like, here's a story narrative that both of us can connect on, and that isn't far reaching in the context of like, I I'm not asking him a very difficult thing to imagine how he would react if he lost his kids, and not that he would react as David, but he's aware, and I'm aware that we would have to temper spiraling out of control.
And so, what does this movie say about love? I mean, is love something that just moves in and then moves out? One day is great, the next day it fizzles out. I mean, it kind of minimizes the whole "till death do us part" part of the vow. I mean, is that how love is?
Yeah, I think everyone goes in with a very naive notion of what love. Yeah, I think even if a guy I work with who's great, he got married later in life. And I still think even he was 38, I still think he went in as naive as someone who is, 20. And
Mm,
you have an understanding of like, it's roses, it's, springtime, it's companions, you can share everything, and you never think about the fact that you're gonna drive to see your parents that are 4 hours away, and you want to listen to punk rock and she wants to listen to indie music, and all of a sudden you're like, I'm not going to be in the car for 4 hours listening to Pavement, and she's like, well, I'm not going to be listening to My Regret. You're like, what do you and no one tells you like you're gonna have debates over creamy and crunchy peanut butter, or but those are aspects of love. I mean, love is this constant compromise, and this a constant attempt to not be selfish and lift your partner up, but also being selfish and at times not lifting your partner up.
mm,
And I think if, for me anyways, and not like I'm trying to teach anybody about love, but I almost wish I knew it was more complicated. My parents kept all of their arguments in their bedroom. They would lock the door and they would have it out. I never experienced, we have one or two moments in our lifetime. One, my mom breaking my dad's Walkman, and another time her dropping all the plates in the kitchen and walking out pissed. That's all we have to understand that love is as complicated. And we kind of tease them sometimes. I wish we had seen you fighting a little bit more so that we can understand when we got married, that it's not as beautiful as they painted it. But they were trying to, they were trying to protect us, and the result, it was a positive result. I had a really great childhood, so I don't want to knock that. But it made me not understand, so that when when Rebecca and I had our first argument, I was like, oh, is this over? As opposed to knowing like, no, this is part of it. And that's really what's happening in Killing You Two Lovers. I mean, it's a very critical part. It is a place where it may be over. It is a place, but how do you explore growing? The growing of partners. One more example was, Rebecca and I really connected over cinema. I mean, she introduced me to Gummo and Buffalo 66 and all these independent films that she had seen in the theater that she grew up with. And I didn't grow up with an independent theater, so I was like, oh, we love cinema. And then as we got older and we had children, she's like, anything that's brutal, she's like, I'm not interested. And I'm like, wait, we connected on this. And it's not really, if I want to watch romance comedies or documentaries, we're connected. Right.
well, well, I definitely look forward to that complication when I get hitched someday. Definitely.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for
Great.
for my fans at home, everybody go check out The Killing of Two Lovers, arriving in theaters and on demand May 14th. Robert, thank you for talking to me, and
Hey, thank you
congratulations,
so
sir.
much. Thank you, Rama.